Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin, build a CoinsKid crew. I hope you had a really good weekend and I hope you have a good week moving forward, okay? So we have got a couple of big weeks coming up for Bitcoin, to be honest with you. We've got a monthly close which is coming relatively soon as well. I think a couple of weeks for that particular close, which we definitely need to pay attention to, because like I said to you, if we do start to come down and we lose the low that we put in June and close below that, then we are taking that out, and that is a bit of a kiss of death scenario, which could be an indication of a big mega crash for the crypto markets right there, and just a long sort of prolonged bear market that Bitcoin's actually in from the top right now. But the only sort of bullish thing I see going forward, to be honest with you, is the fact that we have bottomed these prices. We might see another little leg down. I'm going to show you why for Bitcoin, but historically speaking, this particular indicator, the CBBI indicator, has been pretty cool, pretty accurate at calling the bottom when it goes dark green and the indications in the floor as well. So this particular level just there was 1 dark green, this was dark green and 2, and right now we're dark green and 2 again. So should we just say, okay, this indicator's called it, let's go all in? Personally, I'm not, to be honest with you. I'm looking for certain things in the charts here for Bitcoin. I did anticipate that this was the bottom just there, carving out the structure of a bottom, but obviously we didn't break that resistance of the weekly 20 EMA. Like I said to you, if we break that, for me, you would confirm your bottom's in right now. So that's personally what I'm eyeballing at the moment, is whenever we start to get back above the weekly 20 EMA and take that out and start to close and hold it as support, that's where I'll be accumulating my Bitcoin again. I'm not necessarily going to catch on to a falling knife because of what things are saying to me in the charts right now, regardless of these indicators. Do you understand? So it's a great little indicator. I wish it was 100% foolproof, but I can't tell you it is, basically. So let's take a look at another indicator that's been pretty accurate for Bitcoin bottoms. So this particular chart is called the Bitcoin Rainbow chart. It's been quite good historically, where calling the bottoms good areas to accumulate Bitcoin. Whenever you're in the blue zone, just a good area to accumulate. And obviously, whenever you hit the red zone, if you're fortunate to have been in these cycles, this would just been a really good area to just jump ship, basically. Jump ship, buy blue. Jump ship, buy blue. Here, we never got into the jump ship scenario, so we sort of went sideways, and then boom, we've come down into the basically a fire sale and cheap Bitcoin basically for the next ramp up. But one thing that would be concerning just here is if we don't pay attention to this data, okay, this indicator, and we start to fall through it, like I said to you, turn it into resistance, go sideways for a prolonged period of time, it means that this indicator is broken, and it would equally mean that your CBBI indicator is broken as well. So again, this is why I can't necessarily pay attention to these indicators at the moment, although I was paying attention to this indicator here, okay, and I was paying attention to this indicator here, but just here, the things that Bitcoin is doing in the charts is kind of got me a little bit concerned that we should not necessarily be paying attention to the indicators right here. So you could say, why am I showing you in the video? Well, obviously I show you anything to invalidate or validate data, and this is what I do on the channel. So right now, the fact that this is falling through all these indicators, okay, this blue zone, we're falling through it and we go sideways and keep them down, this is broken, and it could just be an indicator coupled with the data of Bitcoin that Bitcoin is actually in deep poo, okay? So this is what I do. I always try and relay the data to you and not emotion, okay? So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart right now. So looking at the Bitcoin chart on the weekly time frame, I think on the grand scheme of things, there is something that's jumping out the page to me here. So, like I said to you, I'm not necessarily holding to a falling knife right here. Structurally, we're carving out this beautiful bottom. I was looking for a break above a 20. We never got it, okay? We never got that structural bottom that we've always had down here. And that could equally be why the indicators are broken as well, because we are in a different cycle, okay? And we can't pay attention to the previous cycle bottoms right now. So for me, I do still think that what we've got from this previous bear market just here, we've got this big sort of macro cycle that we're in just here. And this is why a lot of the indicators are broken for Bitcoin, okay? So in my opinion, all we're doing is swing high, swing low. And I've gone through this with you so many times. We've got a coil up, swing high, swing low. Came up, boom, found support. Look at that, before we went again. So right now, is it a case that what we're going through for Bitcoin is just simply what we've gone through just there, okay? And I'm going to try and identify this for you and explain it to you, okay, for Bitcoin, that from here right now, okay, from that bear market bottom just there, do you see that? What we did on the sort of grand scheme of things is basically just kind of coil up on an ascending triangle. We broke the resistance like that and we put an impulsive move. Simple, okay? Then what we did, we put in a big A, B, C correction, and the C leg correction found support on the ascending triangle neckline because you're broken it resistance like that. Do you see that? You melted for it and then initially find support on the neckline, good area to accumulate Bitcoin, boom, V-shaped recovery out of there. Okay, so right now, you know, it's not looking too clever. You know, Bitcoin's doing things in the charts that are not looking too clever. It's not looking too healthy. And what you've done here this week, you've actually closed below the 0.5 fib at $16,405. So unless we see some kind of swift recovery, breaking that red line right there, you know, I think that Bitcoin could actually be looking for a level of support just there. That's pretty much exactly what you did just there. Okay, so when you broke out, you got the big ascending wedge right there. Boom, broke out, impulsive move, corrective move, found support in a big capitulation, ABC zigzag, found support on the neckline of your ascending triangle right there. Okay, so you can clearly see here what you've done is very similar. This is an ascending triangle, coiled up, broke out. So just here you've got a very similar one. So you're coiling up, you've got the anomaly of the black swan of the corona dump, followed by swift V-shaped recovery, coiling up. And what you did here, you've broken that resistance of this neckline of this ascending triangle, okay, which is effectively exactly the same as what you did just there for Bitcoin. So you've broken it and you never backtested it as support. Just there, you've broken it without backtesting its support. It's only an eventual breakdown of a big ABC correction that you came back to the neckline as support. So right now, is it a case that what you've done here is you coiled up, broken out, like you did here, coiled up, broken out, and your ABC correction found support on the neckline of the ascending triangle. So this particular scenario just there is a big ascending triangle, broken out, and all you're doing is trying to come back to the support right now, like you did here in this big capitulation event for Bitcoin, where you found support and won again. Okay, and it could just be that. It could just be that simple, that Bitcoin's just retracing all the way back down to the golden ratio right here. So that right now has to be a target for me. And the reason is, unless we see a V-shaped recovery here for Bitcoin into this red line and break it, for me, I think that could be a final destination for Bitcoin right now, because we've got to close below this 0.5 fib this week. Okay, and like I've always said to you, if you start to close below fibs, your next fib is your target. So right now, for me, I think that we could be looking for the golden ratio right there for Bitcoin. Okay, $11,692, and it could indicate that what we've got is a big impulsive wave like that, big correction, big impulsive wave, big correction, followed by big impulsive wave, potentially up to them targets right there for Bitcoin. Okay, so for me right now, I have to say, unless we see a big V-shaped recovery breaking through the EMAs, like I said to you, for me, I will be targeting a golden ratio target, $11,692 right there for Bitcoin, because I think possibly, just looking at it quite simply, this particular scenario here that we've got just there, it's just a macro version of what we did here. Ascending triangle, breakout, fall back to the neckline. Ascending triangle, breakout, fall back to the neckline. Find support, see you later. Find support, see you later. It's a possibility, isn't it? You know, we'll keep an eye going forward. And to invalidate that right now, all we've got to do is break out, break this red line, fall back to support, confirmation of resistance becomes support. That's your entry point right there. That's personally where I'll be looking to enter Bitcoin as well. Once we start to take out the weekly 20 EMA as well and start to close back above that, that for me will be a really, really bullish statement going forward from Bitcoin. And that's where I will be looking to enter Bitcoin again instead of catching a falling knife. Now, one thing that is quite concerning here on the monthly time frame, like I said to you, that could indicate, you know, that we're not doing all this and it's not bullish and things like that, and we're looking at prolonged bear market, is right now we are sort of losing this low. Okay, so when you lose these EMAs, you rally into resistance and you start to close back below the support, it's always an indication of a larger crash than anticipated. So this might be the end game here, $11,962, and you can see on the monthly time frame, broken out, fall back, broken out, and eventually falling back to this ascending triangle on the monthly time frame right there. Okay, which is essentially what this did here when it came back to that ascending triangle breakout target just there. So I wish everyone the utmost luck, you know, and right now, like I said to you, it's easy to project, but once things start to happen in the charts, this is what changes your projections. Do you understand? So like I said to you, at the minute you were coming down, you were holding support, you was losing the support in a monthly 55 EMA, which you've never done. You had multiple closes below it down there, but the longer you stay down here, the more this projects a larger projection to the downside, and that's the truth of it. I kept telling you at the time, unless Bitcoin does that, then you can't project down. Do you understand? If you come holding support and you break up, the possibility is always coming up. But right now the projections are starting to change because of you losing structural support in the charts. Okay, so this for me could be the end game target, $11,692 right there for Bitcoin. Could be the golden ratio, coil up, and then break out on the next impulsive move and the next bull run for Bitcoin going forward. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that update. So where would Bitcoin go if it did do that? Well, you know, we got to 1.618 in this particular bull run, so the 1618 is up there at 200k. So it could be an eventuality that Bitcoin does go to 200k in the next bull run. You know, you won't believe me, but just there from this bear market bottom all the way up, we actually got to the 1618. Okay, in that bull market. So anything's possible, isn't it? I enjoyed that little update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. But the more we stay down here, the more likelihood we're going to break down. And I'm looking at a golden ratio as a key level support, because we've just closed below the 0.5 fib on the weekly time frame right there. So that's always an indication that when you lose support on the fibs, regardless of coming up, boom, your target is the next fib basically. And again, to invalidate that scenario, what we've got to do is get our ass back above these EMAs right now, some kind of V-shaped recovery, break above a red line, hold it back, test support, entry point. Okay, but failing that, if this thing does start to come down like this, you know, leading into 2023, we bottom out down there somewhere. Whenever we break this red line on the golden ratio, or even if we fall lower, whenever we break this red line, that is your entry point. Okay, and that's something I'm looking for down the line for Bitcoin. So you understand that update. It's quite a bearish outlook, isn't it? But like I said to you, when the price action is doing things, you have to pay attention to the charts. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.